YouTubers. We're getting closer and closer to the June 6th date of the New Jersey legislative and gubernatorial primary. And I'm here to talk to you about something a little bit different tonight than the New Jersey gubernatorial primary. I want to talk about an interesting twist that's kind of unraveling in the New Jersey Senate elections. The New Jersey Senate is the upper chamber of the state legislature. There's 40 members. And the balance of power has always been fairly close. It hasn't been exactly 2020 for about 15 years, but it's always been something like 23-17 or 24-16 or 22-18, something down those lines. And what makes that even more relevant is that this year, 2 long-term incumbent senators are retiring. Jim Whalen is stepping down in Legislative District 2. He's the former mayor of Atlantic City. And Diane Allen is stepping down in Legislative District 7. Well, when you have 2 senators of opposite parties who are long-term incumbents that are retiring in a very narrowly divided legislative chamber, it kind of makes things very, very dicey for both parties. I'm not one for conspiracy theories, but I have a theory that the state GOP and the New Jersey Democratic Committee made a backroom deal to run soft candidates so that the balance of power would be maintained in the New Jersey State Senate. And when you look at the candidates that are running for both those seats, from both the Republican and the Democratic parties, it kind of reinforces that theory. In Legislative District 2, you have Democratic former freeholder, I don't know if he's still a freeholder, Colin Bell, running against long-term Assemblyman Chris Brown. That race is going to go to Colin Bell. Chris Brown ordinarily would have secured the seat in Legislative District 2. But the reason why he's not going to is because the governorship's up this year and the county Republicans are very divided over whether to support Jack Citarelli or Kim Guadagno. And when the Republicans are divided in a swing county, the Democrats win the election. And Colin Bell's going to win that race, and so LD2 is going to stay on the Democrats. Now moving over to LD7, we'll talk a little bit about that race. I don't know State Senator Diane Allen all that well. I don't know her that well. I know her if I saw her, if I bumped into her in the supermarket, I'd recognize her, but that's about it. I'm familiar with some of her bills. I don't necessarily completely agree with her legislative philosophy or her political philosophy, but I don't necessarily disagree with it either. She's a little bit to the right of me. She's not as much of a Rockefeller Republican or a Nixon Republican, which is what I kind of consider myself. In her district, State Assemblyman Troy Singleton, who I can't stand this guy. This is the dumbest guy I think I've ever met in my life. If this guy can tie his shoelaces in the morning, I'd be impressed. I hate to kind of support the politics of negativity or the politics of pessimism, but there are some people that aren't qualified to be legislators, and in my opinion, Troy Singleton is one of them. But on the Republican side, you have Rob Prisco. And I know Rob Prisco lives in Riverside, which is a predominantly Democratic town. I know that he's been very active in that community. He's a local attorney. I don't know a whole lot about him other than that. And sometimes a candidate without a track record is more secure than an incumbent. Very seldom is that the case, but I think that that's going to be the case in Legislative District 7. Because what's going to happen is this. The people in Willingboro, the people in Palmyra, the people in all of these small mom and pop towns in Burlington County, and even some of the larger cities in Burlington County, they're not happy with Troy. Yes, he's a Democrat, and yes, the district does slightly lean Democratic, but they're not happy with the fact that Troy hasn't brought home anything from Trenton. The district is floundering. The district is turning into a haven for gangs and drug dealers and criminals. The schools suck. And Troy hasn't met the needs of his constituents, which is why on that side, the district is probably going to go to unknown Rob Prisco. And I think that's going to be really interesting to have a state senator who, to the best of my knowledge, has never held elected office. Maybe he was a school board member or councilman or something, but I don't think he was ever a freeholder or anything on the county level. But like I said, I think that both parties met and kind of made a deal to run soft candidates to maintain the balance of power in those districts.